Ferrari has had a slow start to the current Formula One season, but may its fortunes change with an upgrade boost. Ferrari will try to get its struggling 2025 Formula One campaign back on track in Japan, and they'll try to do this with their first upgrade of the season. But they're not the only ones bringing upgrades, and certainly not the only ones fighting for the way this Sunday. So who will take the top step in Japan? Let's dive into the upgrades. According to reliable Italian media sources, the Maranello-based team intends to install a new floor for the car after a particularly up-and-down weekend in China. Could this propel them to the podium? Lewis Hamilton won the Shanghai Sprint from pole, but the pace slowed as the Formula One management-directed TV feed focused on an apparent instruction made to the 7-time world champion to hand up his place to Charles Leclerc. Team manager Frederick Vasseur labelled it a joke, accusing FOM of intentionally withholding the part of the radio exchange that disclosed how Hamilton suggested the swap. "We had absolutely no intention of spreading false information," a spokesperson for FOM insisted, adding that omitting the rest of the conversation was not done intentionally. Following the race, both red cars were disqualified. Leclerc's was underweight, while Hamilton's sister car had an unlawfully worn floor. However, the Italian media is more concerned about the pace. SOS Ferrari, headlined La Repubblica. "There's no time to lose," explained journalist Alessandra Rettico. "The new floor may already be in Japan." La Stampa's Jacopo Dorsi agreed. It seems that Maranello has chosen the path to recovery, thanks to a new floor configuration that could be introduced as early as the next race in Suzuka. Dr. Helmut Marko, Red Bull's advisor, refuses to write off the team. "They'll sort things out," he told Österreich newspaper. "I'm not writing off Ferrari just yet." La Gazzetta dello Sport's technical journalist Paolo Filicetti concurs. "The project is still immature, but there is potential." Developments are planned for the floor to better manage the ride heights. Another issue, apart from the disputed team order, was Hamilton and Leclerc's first collision. But boss Vasseur is not concerned. "The collaboration between the two guys was and is great, and I can't complain for a second about that," according to the Frenchman. But that's not all, as Ferrari is expecting to revive its F1 fortunes after reportedly introducing a substantial upgrade package in Bahrain. The Italian squad had a rough first round of the season in Australia before receiving a boost in China when Lewis Hamilton won the sprint race. Hamilton then finished 6th in the Grand Prix, one position behind teammate Charles Leclerc, but both drivers were disqualified for technical violations. It has left Ferrari 5th in the constructors' standings, level on points with Williams, who has had an unexpected, strong start. Ferrari entered the season wanting to fight for the F1 title, but after 2 difficult races to begin the year, the team must improve its fortunes quickly. Corriere dello Sera currently reports that the Italian team will bring a significant update package to the Bahrain Grand Prix, the season's 4th race weekend, after bringing a moderate one to Japan. This is said to further develop the new floor that tries to improve performance. The SF25 competitor appears to be quite economical, but the rear end is reportedly overly stiff. The new floor would not only eliminate that issue, but it would also ensure that Ferrari's strengths are enhanced. Ferrari has been performing inconsistently under existing regulations for over a year. It started well in 2024, but an incorrect upgrade package in Spain threw a wrench in the works. That setback was reversed near the summer break, but Ferrari has been unable to maintain its excellent form in 2025, though the update package in Japan and subsequently Bahrain may be a step in the right direction. Will the team in red be able to challenge the frontrunners this weekend? And will those upgrades feel like the one McLaren introduced last year in Miami, effectively changing the shape of the whole season? However, they're not the only ones trying to bring improvements during the season. As Mercedes hasn't given up on their title hopes yet, Mercedes carried out their business in 2025 with great professionalism, both on and off track. The W16 is meeting Brackley's engineers' expectations, routinely battling for podiums and demonstrating a more consistent car than its predecessor. However, the Silver Arrows understand that the 2026 regulations present an opportunity. So, there is a question: focus on 2025. or switch their attention to 2026. Aside from the enormous aerodynamic upgrades scheduled for next year, there will also be entirely new engines. Mercedes understands better than most how to navigate a new set of regulations, and signs increasingly indicate that the company is well positioned for 2026. For obvious reasons, the German manufacturer should not be overlooked this season. In the early stages of this year's campaign, the W16 has met numerous major targets set by James Allison's technical department. Most importantly, the current Mercedes competitor appears to be predictable and stable. This is true both in terms of aerodynamic properties and resistance to wind speed and air temperature. Not only does this improve raw performance, but it also provides a solid foundation for future development. Unlike previous seasons, Toto Wolff's personnel may be confident in their update packages. The Mercedes team principal is pleased with the start of the 2025 season. Overall, it's been a good start to the new season, Wolff said after the Chinese GP. The ambition is to win, but we don't feel any entitlement that we should. The car is not quite as fast as McLaren at the moment, but the team are working hard to close that gap. For now, we are maximizing the performance we have, and to leave China second in the Constructors' Championship, having taken 2 podiums for the first 2 races, is satisfying. Despite the reasons for optimism indicated above, Mercedes and the other top teams still face a major challenge. On paper, McLaren may be within touching distance of Toto Wolff's team. It would be premature to declare the Woking-based team champions just yet, especially given that additional rear-wing limitations are scheduled to be introduced. However, there is little doubt that Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri have the best cars this season. McLaren may be too far away to catch this year, at least without devoting hundreds of wind tunnel hours and taking engineers away from concept work on the new regulations. Mercedes must be sensible about their approach, since committing resources to this year may jeopardize their 2026 challenger. Speaking of which, both George Russell and Toto Wolff have mentioned the significance of next year. This is for good reason, too, since the Brackley-based company is said to be making strong work on their 2026 power unit. Several drivers, like Carlos Sainz and Alex Albon, are certain that Mercedes will provide a top engine in the next 12 months. Numerous reports in recent weeks have supported these claims, with the team's plant in Brixworth likely to manufacture another top-performing power unit. With new manufacturers like Audi and RBPT joining the grid in 2026, Mercedes' main adversaries will be established names like Honda and Ferrari. If they can build a better engine than these brands, they will be in a very good position next year. Mercedes are currently the favourites to establish the standard in 12 months. Given that George Russell voiced confidence in the 2026 regulations as early as last May, speculation of Mercedes' revival should not be dismissed as mere hearsay. Furthermore, unlike Red Bull, and probably Ferrari, Mercedes can easily prioritize 2026 early. Indeed, their transition to the following season will very definitely occur earlier than the other frontrunners. Christian Horner, in the meantime, has been open about Red Bull's determination to continue developing until the RB21's troubles are resolved. It should also be noted that Mercedes has remained untouched by the latest flexi-wing regulations. Unlike some of its competitors, they will not have to spend money or intellectual capital on rear-wing improvements, which is another task they can avoid in the coming months. There is no need for compromise at Mercedes, which could re-establish themselves at the absolute top of Formula One. So, the main question is, will Mercedes be McLaren's biggest competitor this season? Especially after they're introducing upgrades soon? Or will it still be between Ferrari and McLaren, or even Red Bull, as they manage to find some time to spend on their development of the car instead of their driver lineup? What do you think? Will any of the other top teams be able to challenge McLaren this weekend in Japan? And what are your expectations for the race? Can anyone come close to the cars dressed in papaya colours? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.